The second bakery attack, by Haruki Murakami, is part of a collection of short stories from the book The Elephant Vanishes. In the short story, a newly-wedded couple are struck with severe hunger pains in the middle of the night. They have no food in the house, and after a little night of drinking and the story from the husband's past, they decide that they are cursed and must rob a bakery to end their hunger. Regardless of the zany plot, Murakami showcased how characterization is used to explore the theme of faith throughout the short story. A quick note of the meaning of characterization. Characterization is a literary device that is used step by step in literature to highlight and explain the details about a character in a story. Moving on, since the main characters are not given name, they'll be addressed as husband and wife. In the opening paragraph, the husband is given a monologue in which he seems to come forth with his feelings of destiny and faith. The husband states, "I myself have adapted to the position that, in fact, we never choose anything at all. Things happen or not." This explicit use of characterization highlights the husband's feeling of life, that life has no choice, that things simply happen. As the plot of the story progresses, there are subtler ways that the husband character shows a passenger approach to life, preferring to let things happen than taking action himself. For example, after the couple wakes up from the hunger pains, they went into the kitchen. As Murakami writes, "We took turns opening the refrigerator door, hoping, but no matter how many times we looked inside, the container never changed. Beer and onion and butter and dressing and deodorizer." This line suggests that both husband and wife narrate the search for food on the refrigerator. Later in the story, it is the wife who takes initiative to look in other places in the kitchen. While I was drinking the first can of beer, she searched the shelves of the kitchen like squirrels in November. Eventually, she turned up with a package that had 4 butter cookies in the bottom. This shows that the husband more or less gave up on the search for food, and the wife did not want to give in and took further action into her own hands and kept looking for food. This shows implicit characterization on how the husband accepted his faith of hunger, while the wife decided to take further steps to reject the hunger and find decent food. Later into the night, the wife expressed how the extension of her hunger and says, "I've never been this hungry in my whole life." The husband responds that he felt this hunger one time before in his life, and that was the time of the first bakery attack. The husband goes to explain how him and his best friend at the time did not have any money for food and decide to attack a bakery to feed themselves. The attack was unusual as the baker made a deal with the husband and his friends to listen to the overturns to Tannhäuser and the Flying Dutchman. He would give them all the bread they need. This interaction highlights the husband's character in that instead of going with his plan, a different course of action took place. He abided by the request of the baker instead of outright taking the bread as planned. The husband submisses to that because of the deal with the baker for listening to the overturn, and the baker had somehow put a curse on them. This curse might somehow be related to their current state of hunger now. Upon hearing this, the wife believes that the curse is real and that they have to attack another bakery to break the curse. The wife goes on to say, "We've only been living together for 2 weeks, but with all this time, I've been feeling some kind of weird presence. Of course, I didn't know it was a curse until now. This explains everything. You're under a curse." The couple then set out to find another bakery to attack. This is also interesting. What is also interesting is what they bring for this attack. From the story, stretched out on the back seat was a Remington automatic shotgun. Its shells rustled dryly in the pockets of my wife's windbreaker. We had 2 black ski masks in the glove compartment. Why my wife owns a shotgun, I had no idea. A ski mask, neither of us had ever skied. Whether she didn't explain, I didn't ask. Married life is weird, I felt. This again highlights the wife's need to take action, while the husband complains with faith taking the wheel. Again, reminiscing with story's ultimate theme of faith and destiny. This also shows how the husband and wife complement each other, while one is more in charge, the other has no problem being a follower. It also does bring some indefinite characterization of the wife. She has a history that the husband does not know, and the audience can only guess as the reason why she would have a shotgun and ski mask. Later in the night, they are not able to find an open basement, and they decide to attack a McDonald's instead. More accurately, the wife decides to attack a McDonald's as the story goes. We're going to take that McDonald's, he said. McDonald's is not a bakery, I pointed out to her. It's like a bakery, she says. Sometimes you have to compromise sometimes you have to compromise. Let's go. This exchange between the couple points to how instead of giving up on their mission when they could not find a bakery, the wife decides to change the scope of the target and compromise with something else. Again, highlighting how the wife takes charge of the plan and does not let circumstances to take the ultimate mission on hand. Another interesting note is that the wife prepares the car when they park it. Kneeling at the front end, she tore a length of tape, covered the numbers on the license plate. Then she went around the back and did the same. There was a practice efficiency to her movement. I stood on the curb staring at her. This passage seems to imply that the wife might have had some sort of criminal background as well, perhaps more explicit than the husband's, with her ownership of a shotgun, ski mask, and also covered the license plates of the car. There's an interesting history to the wife's character that we can only apply on. Later on, the couples ultimately robbed the McDonald's with 30 Big Macs. The manager insists on taking the money instead, but the couple denies and insisted only on the Big Macs, not wanting to divert from the plan like the husband did from the first bakery attack. The couple collected their food, drove until they found a secluded parking spot, ate their food, thus satisfying their hunger and possibly breaking the long-submitting curse. Ultimately, the second bakery attack by Haruki Murakami showcased how the power of faith can control our lives, or we can control our faith. This explores into the husband and wife characters. The husband, as expressed in the opening paragraph, is content with life as is, and that we should never choose anything at all, while the wife takes more of a direct approach to her life and how it can be shaped. It is most evident in the knowledge of a possible curse manifests, the wife decides to take action and attack a second bakery to break the so-called curse. It is not clear in the story which approach might have the most correct, but the two characters seem to complement each other as they approach towards life, faith, and ultimately their marriage. And here's the honor pledge.